Hello. So this is it's an Ender Pearl launcher cannon thing that uses breezes, wind charges to fire your Ender Pearl through the Nether one direction. I'll just show you how it works. Let me just get rid of this guy. And this is a chunk. And okay, so basically there's the amount of charges that you want to do. So right now the system's there's actually approximately 128 charges in here. See, my E counter is 130, approximately 130 in there. And all you do is you get an Ender Pearl, and then you look up into this corner, and then you throw it. I'm gonna show you what happens really slowly. So let's take step one at a time. So it catches the Ender Pearl up here. And by the way, this is based off of two different designs that I found. And then it pushes it over here, which basically aligns it right down the center. And then while that is happening, it's going to activate the launcher, which is right here, this slime right here. See, now it's falling. It's gonna fall into the water, and eventually it's gonna stop right around here. At the same time, this should eventually activate. So see, the Ender Pearl's here now. And then it kind of happened fast, but it launched it over here, and now the Ender Pearl is literally gone because it went through the Nether portal. Where am I? Okay, I got launched. That's what happened. Yeah, you can get launched if you're, yeah, because there was nothing stopping me up here. So what happened was I got launched straight up. I'm gonna tick unfreeze, and eventually we're gonna get teleported just like that. And if you look at the map, I've been testing it. These are two other tests that I did, and I landed right around here. So it's not accurate every time, but that's fine. This is a test with 64 wind charges. So if yeah, okay. And you can hear it right now. It's actually reloading. The wind charges are being collected by this piston. This whole system's automatic. So while we were in the Nether, this was already running. And you can see the ready's off and the chunk loader is on. If we go into the Nether, you can see that the chunk loader is running. And this is what the portal looks like. I have it on the floor of the Nether, so it can actually go much further if you put it closer to the build limit. Yeah, activating this tripwire while it's not ready won't do anything because there's a lock here. This is just to ensure that it doesn't accidentally turn off. Basically, the way that this works is there's a constantly running loop right here that gets reset every time the breeze shoots a wind charge. This loop right here ensures that this piston is activated and this piston is activated. This piston doesn't have to be activated. It's just activated upon use so that I can launch the wind charges. So this is the important piston because it's activating this observer loop, which is what's actually catching the wind charges. And the way that it's not stopping, the way that these comparators aren't running out of redstone strength is because of this calibrated sculk sensor right here. It's placed very close to the breeze, and it's on a signal level of 3. So this is a signal level of 3. You can see it right there. Signal level 3, and it's only detecting when someone uses an item. That's why I have wool here, because the Ender Pearl would activate when you throw it. That's using an item. So this wool blocks out that sensor from activating. Every time it shoots, it gets detected through this comparator, and then it's activating a bunch of different things. First of all, it's going all the way to the top, and you see it's resetting the redstone signal. But it's also, every time it shoots, it's firing this dropper, which is so it's about to end, and you're about to see what happens when it ends. Anymore, and this will keep running until eventually breeze stops firing. Let's wait for that. So the breeze has stopped firing, so the calibrated sculk sensor isn't going to fire anymore. So eventually the signal will die. So we're gonna wait for the signal to die. And this is the actual one right here that matters. So once this reaches 0, the whole system will stop. So let's go down to see what happens. So eventually this piston will stop, as you can see, and then it pushes it forward, pushes it up, and it'll push it over here to align it. And now it's ready. And if you look, and actually the light will be on, will be off for a little bit longer, because now it's trying to empty the top hopper. So this is running. It's eventually going to empty the top hopper. Basically, what's actually turning on this lantern or this redstone lamp is checking if this is empty. So it's just, yeah, right there. So eventually when this gets emptied, now it's ready for another use. Did I explain how everything works? Yeah, every time the calibrated sculk sensor gets activated, it shoots one item up into this hopper. So that's how it's counting the number of charges that you're gonna fire. And this whole system right here, everything is kind of messy. I really don't like how messy it is. It only makes it hard to build. But this whole system right here is to ensure that it gets emptied after this one has nothing left. And I mean, that's kind of it. This right here is just to ensure that the chunk loader is running while the system is running. So that's why it has this like weird janky comparator setup right here that activates the chunk loader or turns it off when the system's off. And yeah, basically you can just use it again once it's ready. Do it again. There you go. You do get launched and boom, just like that. And as you can see, it is very close to that one. So this time it brought us right to these two. So it can be really accurate sometimes, really precise, and sometimes it's kind of inaccurate. So like during my measurements, I fired a bunch using 64 charges, and this is about a 35 block radius from the center. The credit goes to Raysworks and Cube Control, and I'm gonna post this YouTube link under Cube Control's YouTube video because a lot of people are requesting for him to release his design, and he's been offline for like almost 6 months. So I made this in like a couple hours. It's like kind of big. It's a little bit janky to make, but I'm gonna include a schematic download. I'm not gonna include a world download, but you can. So basically you're just gonna have to paste in the schematic and then load it up with the iron golem and the breeze. And also when you load up the breeze, I'm gonna wait for it to finish. So when you load up the breeze, it's a little bit difficult because if the breeze is standing right in the center, then it won't work. If there's no breeze, okay, so when you first put in the breeze, it's gonna be standing like in the center of the block. As you can see, it's standing like in the center, but that's not what you want because sometimes the wind charge will go past the piston and hit the iron golem. So what you need to do is when you load it in, you're gonna have to take a bunch of wind charges and shoot it right on the edge here. And don't worry if the piston's activating. That's just because the calibrated sculk sensor is detecting my throw. Just keep shooting until you can see the hitbox is right in the corner, or you don't see the hitbox moving anymore. And then once you're done, you can just let it kind of deactivate itself and it will reset itself. And as you can see, everything's reset. You can increase this so that it shoots more charges if you want. And upon first using the system, it's empty right now. You can just jump to activate it and it'll start loading it up. This is 3. Let's just see where 3 takes us. Just for the video, I'm gonna show you where 3 will take you. As you can see, now there's approximately 3 stacks in here. If I go up and then I press F3, E counter is 200, which is a little bit over 3 stacks. 3 stacks would be what, like 192. So it's 8 over. So I'm assuming the 8 is just because the wind charge has to shoot a little bit longer when the glass goes down, because the wind charge mechanic is kind of odd. It keeps shooting even when it doesn't see the entity anymore. So it shoots an extra 3 or something, which doesn't account for 8, but that's fine. And then now let's see how far 64 gets us. Also, the wind charge keeps despawning, so I usually name it. Let's see where 3 takes us. 3 stacks. This is at, well, actually, hold on. I'm gonna move it to the top of the world. That'd be helpful. All right, so this is how high we can make it. Put it up here, and then need netherrack. Let's break the one on the bottom. Break this one too, so it doesn't accidentally go there. And let's teleport back. So now going through here, brings you to top of the world. So let's see how far this will take us. So that was a lot. Now it's reloading, and now we just wait. We're waiting for the ender pearl to travel. And there we go. So that took us approximately 5,800 blocks. You can see in the Z direction, negative Z direction. So if I open my map, this is where we originally came from, right here. Approximately -8. So yeah, took us quite far. Negative 5,800 blocks. And then if I put a portal here, we can see exactly how far in the overworld that takes us. So that's 7 kilometers. That's absolutely nothing because now we're at negative 46,000. So yeah, 47,000 blocks in that direction. I can't even, there it is. Scroll on my map. It's very far. And that's just 3 stacks. You can go up to 9. If you modify the system to put more, you can. I'm not going to do that because 9 slots of like breezes is enough for me. Also, you can put multiple breezes inside in that one slot. So that would double it or triple it or quadruple it every time. That would quadruple it every time. So if you have like 3 breezes in there, 1 stack would actually be 3 stacks. And it would also recharge quicker. And yeah, the breeze despawned because I went to the overworld, so that's why you should name tag it. But yeah, this is the entire system. I think I explained most of the details. Everything else is just like safety or like making sure that everything works. So yeah. Okay, well this actually shouldn't be pointing in there. I would change this to target block just to make sure that won't happen. There you go. I'll put credit where it's due. This wind charge collection system was by Cube Control. This nether portal system and ender pearl stasis chamber is by Raysworks, and this ender pearl collection thing aligner is also I found on Cube Control's channel. Everything else is really jank. So yeah, that was made by me. The ender pearl, the chunk loader is not made by me. I don't know where I got that from. And then the calibrated skull sensor, I got the idea from Raysworks channel. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.